Can you believe it's time again for another episode of NH Unscripted? And like a rhinestone cowboy, we are getting cards and letters from people we don't even know. Yeah, some might be a little extortion-y, but hey, what can I say? At least it's correspondence, right? I am your Glenn Campbell-like host, Ray Dudley, and we are coming to you from the Gong Show-like digs of the WKXL studios. Yes, I have my Nehru jacket on, and it's kind of decked out in rhinestones, and so are my platform shoes. You know the drill. Fire up those lava lamps, kick back on your waterbed, because we are going deep again today. We're trucking, baby. It's a little 70s nomenclature for you. We are coming to you. Oh, yeah, get out your Sony Walkmans, men, Sony, whatever the plural of that thing is. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. And yeah, we got a URL, nhtalkradio.com, where all of the cool kids hang out. Talk to you a little bit more about that later. I need to thank my sponsor, the law offices of Shaheen and Gordon. I have to tell you, I could not be happier or more proud to have these people aboard. Jim Rosenberg was in the other day and talking about all that they do, and we've promised them to give them a slot I think the last Friday of every month or something. Someone from there is going to come in and talk about what they do. Get out a pencil, because you want to put this either on a magnet on your fridge or you want to put it in your important papers area. ShaheenGordon.com. That's ShaheenGordon.com. Phone number is 603-614-5560. Look, I said it before, I say it a million times. You are on the face of this earth long enough, the chances are pretty good at some point in your life you're going to need an attorney. You are. Trust me. Either you need real estate, or you got to do a will, or you got to do a trust, or, some of the other things we don't want to talk about, like the DUIs and, some of that other stuff that we keep buried in our closets. Anyway, ShaheenGordon.com, because everyone should know a good lawyer. And, man, they are loaded up there. ShaheenGordon.com. All right. We are going to talk today with Cory Lawson from the Winnipesaukee Playhouse. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I have brought you. Your season is loaded. Loaded.
Yeah.
I went out to the website and I was scrolling through and I'm like, what in the world? First of all, I love all the posters, all of the little artwork. It's brilliant.
Andrea is our new graphic designer, put those together. Isn't he great?
Man, it is so impressive. So impressive. And the season looks so fun. And I really want to get into it with you. I love the Winnie. I've performed there. I've seen shows there. It's one of my favorite places to perform. It treats the actors so well. They've got all the dressing rooms downstairs and, the green rooms and all that stuff. And it's just a fun place to perform. Cory, if you wouldn't mind, before we get into it.
Sure.
What's your background and how did you end up at the Winnie?
Thanks. It's a great question. So I've actually been at the Winnie now for 2 years. I'm now the Director of Education and Community Engagement there. My background, actually, I started as an actor. So I'm a classically trained actor, went to the New School for Drama, or the Actor Studio at the time. Is
that the famous Actors Studio?
It is, yeah.
What?
Yeah. They were transitioning out as I got there. So, yeah. So
royalty. I'm bowing. Bowing.
It's not all that fancy, I promise you. I wish it felt that way there. It just was a bunch of hallways, but it was a blast, and I really enjoyed that. And so I lived in New York City for about 12 years, doing the acting life and bouncing around, regional theaters, and I ended up down in Alabama there. This is the first time I was there on an acting contract, and then I ended up staying. That was my first time in administration. They brought me on as the associate education director down there. Really liked that. And then I found myself in Texas doing a PhD at Texas Tech University.
Man, you travel.
Yeah, exactly. In the theater, you move where you get the gigs and the employment.
Follow the check.
Exactly. And the type of theater I really like this devised theater, creating new works, you really have to travel around to find it where the work is. And it's just sort of where it took me. But, my partner Annie and I, we really loved New York. We really loved the Northeast, and we really wanted to get back to New England. And so I saw this job. I finished my exams. Saw this job open up a place called the Winnipesaukee Playhouse. Had never been to New Hampshire in my life. We moved up here sight unseen 2 years ago, and we love it.
Yeah?
We love it. First of all, I love the theater. I love the size of the theater. You know, there are 5 full-time staff. We have 6 total staff, you know, in the off-season. And so I love that we all do a little bit of everything, but also I love the kind of work that we're producing. And gosh, we love New Hampshire. It is so beautiful. It's just every time, 2 years now, I'll just make a turn on a corner and the mountains hit you. I'm like, I live in beauty. Like, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah. And the lake's right down the road. Pretty much. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I have a lot that I want to talk to you about, not just the season, but, you know, how things get chosen. I do know that you guys, this is inside stuff, but I was talking to Matt McGonigal the other day, and you guys just switched your stage over from Thrust to Proscenium, right?
We did, yeah. We just got finished with that.
Yeah, so for folks who don't know, Thrust is when you actually build your stage out a bit into the audience.
That's right.
And so why did you do that? For people who don't understand, why would you go from either one, actually?
There's a couple choices, reasons we would choose that, right? There's, of course, the logistical side of things, which actually, for us, we tend to try to make that the secondary reason. But you can literally seat more people in a thrust. So if we're in the thrust, we gain seats along the side of the stage. So in that sense, that helps. But really, it's what does the show ask of you? What does it demand? So there's some shows you really want to be out in the audience's face. You want to sort of be able to interact a little more. And then there are shows where you really need to gain the space of on the width of the stage. So when you go into thrust, at least in our space, you lose some of the width of the stage. The stage becomes a little narrower. And then if you do a large show, for instance, we have in the fall, we're going to do My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
That's a large show, and you need that space. Something that's a little more intimate, and maybe you can come out and use that more narrow space a little more. So you look at the needs of the show first, and our artistic director, Tim, does a really great job at looking at that. But then also you have to ask, like, do we want a show this show is going to sell 200 seats a night? You know, we need to bring those extra seats on the side.
Yeah.
That comes into it a little bit too.
Yeah. I actually prefer Thrust only because I love it. To me, it's a little bit more intimate with the audience. You're right there. Yeah. I mean, they're practically got their feet on the stage. You know, it's just so much better. I prefer it.
I do too. You know, I've actually been told, I have not seen it, maybe you've seen it, you've been here longer than I have, that the stage can go into a more of a round too, which is also really intimate.
I did not know that.
I would love to do some shows in the round. At some point that will happen. So that space is really flexible. I'd love to see it that way. It's been done before. I know we did the Wolves that way a few years ago. But,
really? The round?
In the round, yeah. I said I haven't seen it since I've been there 2 years, but it's it's made to be accessible in that way.
Wow. Your season that's coming up, I know you tend to mainly deal with the community theater and the education department. Yeah. But have you been involved? Did you go to the casting for the season?
So they're getting ready. So they'll be in New York in a few weeks. They started at the A1s auditioning, so they've had one round of some auditions, but our largest auditions will be in New York in just a couple weeks. And Tim and Leslie will go there and then come back and sort of report back. But Tim and Leslie handle most of the casting things in terms of the professional season. We do have, for the first time this year, a local professional audition, which is coming up on Sunday.
Oh, that's interesting.
So people can sign up on the website and get a slot for that. Man, I hope the weather allows it. But right now, I think it looks like we're getting a window.
Wait, is that this Sunday?
That's this Sunday.
You know there's something else happening this Sunday, don't you?
Besides the weather?
Yeah, like the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's funny. I'm such a big football fan, too. You know what the problem is? I'm not a Chiefs fan, so I'm kind of like toning it out. But
yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of controversy, but this show is not, we're not going to go there.
It's fine, yeah.
I hear you. So why don't you give the website so that people can go out? Do you know what, and is there really a sign-up thing? Can you get times?
Yeah, WinniePlayhouse.org, www.winnieplayhouse.org, and you can... you can get on there. You can sign up for an audition slot. There should be a link. I think it's under the Get Involved part of the webpage. But yeah, it's definitely on there, and you can sign up for an audition slot and come out and see us. And that's for the professional auditions. But while we're talking about auditions, I want to throw out our community season. We're getting started real soon. We just finished our education auditions and put out the cast list yesterday for those shows.
You did?
We did, yeah, for Heather's the Musical and the Boxcar Children. But on the 16th of February, we'll have our auditions for our first round of community shows. Okay. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will. Oh, man, this is loaded. Thank you, Jesus. Holy moly. You are listening to NH Unscripted. We are your magic carpet ride. That makes me your Steppenwolf-like host, Ray Dudley. So happy to be out of bed. We are coming to you from the YMCA-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. I can smell the pool chlorine from here. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. Cory Lawson's in the house from the Winnipesaukee Playhouse. Oh yeah, I got questions. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted, where we are California dreaming today, baby. Woo! After that snow last night, mama, and more coming in. I am your host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the Green Acres Lake Digs of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. Excuse me. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Cory Lawson from the Winnipesaukee Playhouse is here, and we are talking about auditions and upcoming shows. Okay, you and the Winnie were having a reading for August Osage County.
That's right, yeah.
And you ended up having to go to a Zoom. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah. We had it last night. Yeah.
So, a couple of things. Why were you having a reading rather than just say, okay, we're going to do it? And how did it turn out on the Zoom call? What was that like?
Yeah, so a program we're trying to build on is I would like to have a monthly read anyway of different plays, not just plays that we're going to produce, but maybe plays that we can't produce, plays that our community, maybe the artists of color that aren't in our community, aren't as, harder to find and get a turnout from that community. So we really want to do maybe one play a month where we're reading them anyway. But what we did last year was we did a reading for a play that I directed called The Ferryman, which is a less known play, but a fantastic play. And we really thought people would be excited about it if they got to hear it first.
Yeah.
And man, that really seemed to work. It's a large cast anyway, especially for a non-musical. It's like 20 people, and we needed the numbers. And we had so many people come out after that reading that we really thought, let's do that again. Let's start off this new play reading program with a play that we're going to do soon and get the excitement going behind that. So we were hoping to do it in person. As you know, it's always fun to get together and
welcome to New
see
Hampshire.
Faces. Yeah, exactly. I'm still getting my brain around that a little bit. So it did have to move to Zoom. I thought it went really well. We had some good turnout again, but I always prefer in person, of course. Of course. It's nice to be face to face with somebody like we are now, and just easier. But for an online event, again, I thought the turnout was great, and it's such a good play. We had a blast.
Yeah, I know about the play, but I started watching the movie. I wanted to cut my wrist. It's so the first half is so depressing. Nobody likes anybody. There's death, there's alcoholics, there's you name it. I'm like, why am I watching this? What rabbit hole have I fallen into?
It's true, but you know what? And you laugh throughout the whole thing while you do while you're at the same thing. It's that balance that he can strike, which really makes such a great play.
I loved Sam Shepard. He was in it. I loved Meryl Streep in it.
Oh yeah,
I could not believe what they did to that woman. I thought for sure she's dying. I mean, in real life, I'm like, what is going on with Meryl Streep?
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Yeah.
She looked terrible. So eventually you're going to be doing it? Is that the key there?
So we'll have the auditions. So August Osage, which I'll be directing, we'll have auditions with that, as well as our radio play, which is Treasure Island this year. And both of those auditions, both of those will be February 16th. So just, what's that, 1 week or a little over a week from today? It's all.
Did I not see? Wait, your radio play is what?
Treasure Island.
Was it not just in this? Look at my screen here.
No,
it was like right here.
Yeah. It looks like it sort of is glitched out a little bit there, but it's on there.
Okay.
So if you go to the Get Involved section, you can find out, and it is possible to do both shows if people are interested in doing both. Radio plays are really different, sort of fun experience.
No kidding.
First off, it's for people. You don't have to memorize anything, so if you're trying to dip your toes in, it's really good.
Or if you're old like me.
We need to recruit for August Osage. I've already been told that. So I'm just putting that out there. No pressure.
You devil, you. Tell me why. So the Winnie typically does at least the radio show once a year, usually in the fall. Why are you doing one in the springish?
So it tends to move. There was a couple years where it was falling, in the fall and later in the winter, especially when there's a holiday radio play that we're doing.
Yeah.
Really, it falls. It's dictated by the season where it would best slot in. And so it
But you're doing two this year, right?
We're doing one this year.
Oh, I thought you were doing two.
We just finished. We did two last year for the first time in a little while, and that went really, really well. It's such a popular program. It's growing. I mean, who knows? We might throw one in there if we that's what we did last year. It's just so much fun, and people tend to like them. So I'm excited about that program, and but this one is the first one, actually. It's the first show we'll do this year. Even before education shows, will be the radio play.
Yeah. I think this is, the website is a little glitchy right now because some of these shows, you're not doing Jersey Boys. You did it last year.
Yeah. I hope we're not doing Jersey Boys. I mean, I love Jersey Boys, but
I don't know what's going on with that.
I still have the Four Seasons in my head.
Oh, I loved it.
Everybody loves the Jersey Boys.
Isn't that the truth? We saw it, and we've seen Chicago there. We saw the Jersey Boys there. We're in love with the musicals, but they do such a great job. Oh my God! And we love Frankie Valli and all that. So we were really happy to see it. They did a wonderful job.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Give the audition dates again for people for the community theater folks.
Sure. The February 16th is the first of those, and then there's one, I believe, on the 18th, 2 days later. But it's, February 16th is when they start. And then that week, by the end of that week, we'll have both of those casts up, and they start rehearsing pretty quickly, I think, by the end of the month. So, which is good because they are beasts of a show. They're excellent plays, but they are also very large plays. I think, like The Ferryman, August Osage is about 3 hours long. So.
My goodness.
I know. They cut that down to 2 hours for the movie. I was watching the movie, and I was going, how did they do this? Also, what a great job, because I couldn't tell what they cut. But
oh, my goodness. What's the other one that you're going to be doing?
Treasure Island. And
Treasure Island.
Yeah.
So I've never heard of anybody doing Treasure Island. Is that a...
It's excellent. There's a radio production of it, and again, the sort of the fun is you can come and you can listen to it as well. So we do have people that will come and they literally will close their eyes and listen to the actor performing it. The actors are acting as though they are radio performers in a studio, much like we are now. Go and watch them, and they're standing around a mic and they're acting out the roles as if they're on a radio production.
Do you have a Foley guy?
We have a live Foley person there. Yeah,
with steps and everything.
It's that tends to be the fan favorite, right? They like to watch how everything gets made. And it's actually my favorite too, because they come up with all kinds of creative solutions to how they do that stuff. And sometimes my brain doesn't work that way. I'm like, oh, they use that to make that noise? Cool. That is one of the more exciting parts of that production.
So is the generally in a lot of these theaters who have both community and professional, the professional takes the bulk of the summer, and then the community kind of goes into the fall and the winterish. Is that the same? I thought I noticed you had one or two sprinkled throughout the professional kind of in
we
there.
We do. We have a really great program that we're building now that I'm super excited about. It's our professional TYA show. So our Theater for Young Audience shows. This year is Winnie the Pooh. Last year did Frog and Toad, and it started a year before that with Corduroy. That falls in the fall. That usually is in October, and that has been such a great opportunity. we have public performances of those, but the majority of that is for school festivals where the schools come out and they take a field trip and they see the show. And a lot of times it's the students' first time they've ever seen a play. I always ask the question, raise your hand if you've ever been to a play.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. That one of my favorite things is see the hands go up the first time I've seen a play. And we've just that program has continued to grow as we built it. We doubled last year. We're hoping to do that again this year in terms of the numbers of schools. And it's open to every school in New Hampshire. We have grants to help keep that really affordable for the schools. We're continuing to write those grants. But it's a program that we're really excited about. So and so that is a professional show that happens in the fall now. So we are starting to sort of branch out of just the summer.
Wow.
We have our panto in the
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
You brought it back.
We brought it back.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
By popular demand.
Yeah, I heard there was a little bit of controversy there.
Yeah. You try to like just put it aside for a year, just a year, and man, we got a bunch of folks.
No kidding.
Don't worry, we were ready to bring it back.
Yeah, I'll bet. For folks who don't know what a panto is, it comes from England and. It's crazy. I don't even know how to explain it. Do you have a definition here for folks?
The best I can sort of say, so each one has sort of each one is a fairy tale, right? Yeah. This year it's Peter Pan, but we've done Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. But the best way to describe it is think vaudeville. Like it's really like going to see a vaudeville show, to my eyes, with this story on top of it.
Yeah.
It's just a blast. It's a variety of music and dance and
you get to boo the villain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really,
boo,
yeah. No, it's quite an event. I mean, I was in one. I don't think I was in more than that, but we did Jack and the Beanstalk, and it is so cool. Oh, all right, hang on. We gotta take a break. We'll talk more about this when we get back. Yeah, baby, Papa's got a brand new bag. You know it. That makes me James Brown-like host Ray Dudley. Woo, my rhinestones on my Nehru jacket, they're shiny. Ooh, baby. We are coming to you from the spa-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, and 101.9 FM for the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls in Manchester. We will be right back, chatting up the Winnie. Welcome back to NH Unscripted, where we know you're hooked on a feeling. Oh, yeah, I'm your BJ Thomas-like host, Ray Dudley. Yeah, coming to you from the dating game-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. Happy to be out of bed, as always. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. That's Concord-based on your transistor radios. All the rich kids got the 16 transistors. Us poor kids, we get the 8. 101.9 FM for the folks in Manchester. Cory Lawson's in the house, and we are chatting up the Winnipesaukee Playhouse. If you have never been there, it's in Meredith. You have got to go. Their seasons are phenomenal. The whole theater just has a wonderful vibe to it.
Thanks. Isn't it beautiful?
When you walk in the front door, it's just so inviting. Then they got the patio outside too, and it's really nice.
Yeah,
I've talked to Neil. Those seats in the upper though, have got to be. They got to be done something with those up there.
Yeah, in the balcony.
They're a neck breaker, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
He says it's typical English theater, but I don't know
along the
that.
side. That is true. They like the side seats.
No idea why. I don't. Maybe it has something to do with the way they drink. I have no idea. But anyway, so let's talk about the season for the community theater side of it.
Yeah.
You have Treasure Island coming up.
Yes.
How many people would you be looking for? And when you cast your season, you're not like the professionals where you cast the whole season. You cast each play as it goes along.
Each show. We cast the whole. We cast each show separately. And have it separate auditions. So the fun thing about the radio play is it really could be You could have a cast. You could have a cast of 2, and you could have a cast of 20, right? Because 2 people can do all kinds of different voices.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll sort of be up to the director, but there's plenty of room for a lot of folks to get involved with that. Whether you're acting or whether you're doing the Foley, as you said, or
they need to audition for that because even though it's a radio play.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll come in and they'll read. We'll hand them. It'll be a cold read in this. So they'll have the script. They'll read it off just like they would the day of, and the director will. It's a kind of a fun experience actually. They kind of come in and throw you some adjustments and say, this time read it like a pirate, right? Or this time a little less angry, or and it's sort of fun. It's in and out and quick and easy. But yeah, those are Brendan is directing that show for us, and he's fantastic to work with, and so yeah, anywhere from I would say anywhere from 8 to 18.
It should be real fun, actually, radio play.
Yeah, it's gonna be
a cool
blast.
Story.
It really is. Yeah, if you know Treasure Island, it's the classic story.
No kidding. For any of these that they're going to be auditioning for, let's say we have someone who they've never done anything before and they're thinking of dipping their toes in. What should they expect in an audition up there?
So the first thing I would say is we send out, or on the website as well, there's an audition packet for each show that sort of shows you what to bring in or asks you, to bring in certain things. Every director is a little different what they want to see. Sometimes they might ask for you to memorize something, either a monologue from another show, or they might ask, sometimes for education show, for instance, some of the kids memorize a poem or something like that, and that's a common one. The other thing that a lot of times happens, maybe even the majority of the time, is we'll have sides in the room. So we'll print out scenes from the show that we want to hear you read, and you get those before you go in the room, and you can hold them and read them while you're in the room, and you perform the scene that way. So it really just depends on the director, and so the best way is really to look at that packet and just see before you come in, what do they want from me? Do I need to prepare something beforehand or not? If it's a musical, we usually ask you to sing, right?
Yeah,
that's important. So
it is kind of.
well, I've seen some musicals, but maybe they didn't do that in the auditions. And I think maybe they should have, but yeah, exactly. But so each one is different, and just check and see what to prepare. But in general, we try to make them really fun and an enjoyable experience because it's all part of it, especially for community shows.
Yeah.
You're coming out, we want you involved. It's your theater, it's your program, and so we want people of all different levels and abilities and experiences, and so making it sort of an easy approach is important to us. So it might seem intimidating depending when you read it, but I promise you it's not. And in the room, we're really warm, and we want you there.
Yeah, and I think, too, there's less pressure, right? I mean, if you've never done it before, you're still before a live audience. Yeah. You cannot forget that. But there is just a lot less pressure, right? I mean, you just get to walk up to the microphone, and I'm sure there's a whole... what I'm trying to think of system, with timing and all that, when to get out of your chair, when to be ready, when to get all that.
Yeah.
And actually, do you guys use costumes for that? Just for...
we do, although it tends to be... It depends on when they're setting the show. So a lot of times people will wear their own sort of suits or whatever.
I'm not showing up in a pirate costume.
Oh, now come on, man! I was recruiting for the other one, and now I want you in this. An eye patch, a little parrot.
Yeah. So we've covered 2 shows for the community.
Yeah,
you've got one coming up I never heard of called Mutiny on the Mount.
Yeah.
What is that?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. We are really excited about this show, and there's a reason you haven't heard of it. It's written by a playwright named Bob Montana. Have you heard of Bob Montana?
No, sir.
He's a local Meredith legend. He created the Archie comics.
No way.
And he wrote this play in 1952 for the, I want to get this right, I think it's the Meredith Village Players. It hasn't been done since 1952. It takes place on the Mount Washington in 1930. So in 1952, wrote a play about the Mount Washington, which is a boat that goes around Lake Winnipesaukee. Yeah. He wrote it in 1952 about a boat in 1930. It has some music from he borrowed from Gilbert and Sullivan. Again, hasn't been done since 1952, and we, the Meredith Historical Society, approached us and gave us a script. I read through it, and knowing that it took place on the Mount Washington, my first thought was we need to contact the Mount Washington, which we did.
Dude, this is incredible. I can't believe this.
So the 3 organizations are going to team up. We're going to do the show from Bob Montana, the first time since 1952, on the Mount Washington on the boat as it cruises around 3 nights in October.
That's insane.
Yeah, isn't that exciting?
Oh my God! So the tickets are like for a dinner and a show.
You get tickets for dinner. Yeah, you take the full dinner cruise. It's a dinner and a cruise around the lake, and you come back and you get to watch the show again.
Oh my God! And then there's the option for the show only. But
yeah, you can get the show only as well. Well, you're still on the cruise. You can't get away from that. But yeah, no dinner. But yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can look through the windows at the food.
That's right.
That's brilliant.
Isn't that exciting? We're really happy. We have 2 great partners in those organizations, and it's something that I'm hoping. Again, the both the historical side has been great, and the Mount Washington has been fantastic. We're hoping maybe it can become an annual thing, but
they were really into bringing it on.
Oh yeah, they're great. They've been talking about doing live theater for a while, and I think this is a great. I mean, especially a play written about your boat.
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
Hasn't been done since 1952.
Boy, talk about historical. Okay, so between you and me.
Yeah.
It's a boat. What are the acoustics on this thing? I mean, it's not like it's the Disney Cruise Line or anything.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's actually they have a stage that's already built there for. They do all kinds of like concerts or live events, and so it's not as much the acoustics. They're set up with speakers. It's the lighting that we're going to have to get a little creative with because we have to bring in our own packages, and we're working with that. We're talking with them and figuring out how that happens. But it's such a cool space, and we've already started talking about, in the future there are ways to make it also in the round and flexible. It's because of the way the boat is. You can do immersive stuff. There's lots of possibilities, but the way it's set up now, it is set up for concerts. So you'll be able to hear the thing, you'll be able to see it pretty well. We just have to figure out how we do the lights because that's what they're not set up for. They're not a theater, obviously.
Yeah. So this actually. For people who don't know, these are the things we worry about in theater. Sets and costume changes and scene changes. I mean, all of these are issues that you're going to have to deal with because I'm sure there's not like a way to move sets in and out or put in drops or have people changing costumes like on the fly.
Yeah, it's interesting. And you know what's really neat about this one too, although I'm not sure if we'll be able to fit it in there or not. We've talked about, but like there are existing sets from 1950, like backdrops. So they really just hung like a curtain in the back, right? Because 1952.
They're there? Oh, you mean that you can get?
They exist.
Oh,
Historical Society has found them, and they exist in like barns, and people like have them since 1950. And so the question is, do we have space in there for those? And that's a different question. But like that's the really exciting thing because the Historical Society is bringing a whole other side to this. They're going to have exhibits on the boat as well. You can go and see like old videos from Bob Montana as he's drawing Archie. You can go see the old photos of the players.
This is like a full day event.
It's a 3-hour tour and it's an hour and a half show. I know. As soon as I said it, and that's going to come up a few times. So
I know.
It'll end up better than that one, I promise you.
So. Talk about seating. I mean, number-wise, I'm sure it can't seat 250 people.
No. It's limited. So that's the other thing. It's 100. I think it's 130 something like that. And it's only 3 nights. So it's get tickets now. They are up, and you can get them now. And I suggest it.
Give the website again.
WinniePlayhouse.org.
WinniePlayhouse.org. Man, we are uncovering treasures today. It's a great day to be alive. You're listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah, we got Crackling Rosie going here. I am your Neil Diamond-like host, Ray Dudley. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord. Yep, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. We're talking about the Winnie Playhouse and some very interesting theater things happening up there with Cory Lawson. We will be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. Yeah, baby. We are down by the lazy river. I am your Osmond-like host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the Hollywood Squares like digs of the WKXL studios, where I love to sit in the center square, the old Paul Lynde Square. 1450 AM, 103.9. That's for all you old folks. 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. I promised you I would give you some info about what happens out there. If you go out to NHTalkRadio.com, A, there's a button where you can listen to everything that's happening at the station live. B, there's archives of this great, what should be award-winning show, but all the other stuff that goes on here too. I understand there's other programs that take place here. I don't, it's what I've heard. But anyway, you get up 2, 3 in the morning, you need something to listen to, we'll be there for you. Yeah, like an old friend. All right, we are talking with Cory Lawson about what things are shaking up there at the Winnipesaukee Playhouse. My Fair Lady. When does that go on? And that could be a heck of a show.
It'll go up the end of November. We will audition into September, beginning of October. I am so excited about it. It's certainly our largest community show of the year, which we've been saving for the winter months the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's a show we're really thinking about how do we build on the momentum we've been gaining since we started doing. We had a good turnout for Fiddler 2 years ago. That sort of carried over into Matilda this year. And so what is the next sort of large show that we could do? And I was looking into it. I couldn't find anybody that had produced it recently in the area. And I sort of was shocked by it. It's such a big title and such a fun show that people hadn't.
And everyone
done in a
knows
while.
it. I mean,
yeah, it's beautiful. Like, even if you just listen to the music now, like, the music is incredible. The characters obviously are classics, and so we're really excited about it. And so that's the next big musical. We have been doing a community education sort of hybrid at the end of the year.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily that, although I do think there'll be an opportunity for some young children to be in the show. We have a lot of people on the streets and background positions, and so there will be opportunity for that. But really, it's a chance for some of our musically inclined community theater folks to come out and really get to show off some really great music.
Is it a big cast?
It's a large cast.
It is.
It could be, even larger than is written, but it's I would say anywhere from 20 to 50, right? Like, you could have, it depends on now. Now that's why we don't go into the thrust for My Fair Lady, right? You can't get 50 people there, but
that's a traffic jam, baby.
Yeah.
Are you having a talk back during that too? Is that what this is?
That's right. Yeah, we'll have a talk back with the actors and of course the people behind the scenes that are helping put on our technical crew. So we try to do a talk back for just about every show that we do outside of the education department. So all the community shows and certainly all the professional shows have a talk back, as well as the backstage tour.
Yeah. Are you using a live band for this or tracks?
This one's going to be tracked. I think all the shows are tracked this year.
All the community theater.
Right, exactly. Okay. Yeah. And so and so that'll be tracked, which is helpful. Some people, they can take that track home and work on it and practice. And so again, we try to make things as easy as you can when you come out for us.
Yeah. How are ticket sales so far? I know it's early in the season; it's only February.
Yeah, it's early. I expect them to do very well. Like you said, those community shows at the end of the year, the big cast, they tend to do really well. Again, it's a show that I know people want to see and love and want to come out, especially at a time where the holidays, people get nostalgic and they want to see their comfort thing. And it's such a comfort show, and again, beautifully done. And I expect it to do very well. Yeah,
excellent. You want to talk a little bit about the professional side?
Sure, let's hop in there.
It looks like a crazy season there, too.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, so I'll just list them off here real quick, but The Wedding Singer.
Yeah, excellent.
POTUS, Little Shop of Horrors, Fully Committed, don't know anything about it, Once on This Island, The Woman in Black, Winnie the Pooh, and Jack and the Beanstalk for the Panto.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Woman in Black is a great show. Good movie, too.
Yeah? What is it about?
Isn't it great?
Well, we're there. Why don't we talk about it? What is it?
It's a horror show.
Okay.
It's a scary show. Although I guess horror might be even too heavy. It's a ghost story.
Okay,
it's a ghost story. But what it really is in the theater, which I love, is it's an actor vehicle. You want to come see some amazing acting? 2 actors. One plays the same character throughout. The other one plays everybody else.
What?
And it is excellent, and the story is crafted. I always use it as there's a moment at the end, and I'm not spoil anything. There's a moment at the end every time I've seen it, and I saw it every time I went to London. I go to see this show. I've seen it so many times now. Every time the hair on my arm stands up.
It plays that often? You've seen it that many times?
For a long time, it was one of the longest running shows in the history of theater. I think it just closed this year or last year, but it is.
What?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Two characters. Two actors.
Two actors,
yeah.
Exactly. Two actors do the whole thing. But yeah, exactly. It has a moment, no matter how many times I see it, my hair stands on end, and that's how I know you have a good play.
So what's the not the difficulty, what are the obstacles that would stand out for you or the theater for doing a play like this?
Well, I think, I think the main sort of administrative obstacle is how do you get people out to see a show that maybe they haven't heard of? Although there is a movie version, as you pointed out a second ago, that I think people know. But to get them out to see it,
special effects involved?
There are absolutely there are little theater tricks that'll get you going. It is a ghost story, so you have the rocking chair by itself is moving, and creaks and things like that exists. But it really is about the amazing performances that really drive it through. And if you like a good ghost story, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic show.
Mama, that's incredible. All right, so Little Shop of Horrors, that's going to be a hoot.
Yeah, it's great.
Who doesn't know Little Shop of Horrors? My goodness.
Yeah. I think that what the Rick Moranis movie kind of sells.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah, that's a classic. The Wedding Singer, that's been making the rounds lately.
Yep, Adam Sandler movie.
Yes.
Got that really popular. The play is, I would say, even better, and the music is excellent, and people come out there going to have a really good time. It's the first show that leads us off, and it's a good one, and I think people are going to have it's going to be a fun introduction to the season.
POTUS, what is POTUS about?
POTUS is a really it's a hot show right now, fresh off of Broadway, and it is I'm going to read you the sentence. POTUS, or behind every great, we'll say, dumb person, or 7 women trying to keep him alive. It's the inner workings of a White House, the women that are behind the power. It is a farce, a modern farce. So if you like, your Bowings,
it's on that line. Got ya.
There's a lot of slamming door kind of humor.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's, and I know we are a PG show, so I won't go into much further than that. It is at some language, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Son of a gun. And then Fully Committed. Know nothing about it.
Okay, it's another excellent show. It is a one-person show starring Robert Hookirk. So people in our area who know Robert will love it. Yeah, Robert is a fantastic actor. He's been with us for many years.
He was in Jersey Boys last year.
He was, yeah. He's done so much with us. He was in Frog and Toad, and he's been around the theater. He's a popular. People will come out to see Robert. They're like, "Oh, is Robert in it?" I'm like,
"Oh, I'm so jealous." Are you kidding me?
I know, me too. I would like that.
What?
So we have Robert out for this one, and it's a one-man show answering a phone at an extremely busy restaurant in the city, trying to take orders, and he is just overwhelmed and exhausted, and it is hilarious. And Robert is hilarious, and people are going to come out and laugh their butt off for 2 hours.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He joined us up at Gene's Playhouse last year for Christmas Carol.
That's right.
Dude, he's so good, and he's such a gentle soul, man.
Yeah, he's such a kind guy.
Wow, so one person in that is First of all, that's an undertaking.
Yes, it is.
For people who don't know, you're on stage by yourself. Let me tell you, nobody's throwing you a lifesaver. You're just out there, baby. I mean, the pressure. You talk about pressure. You either got it or you don't. He'll have it.
Yeah, he does.
Once on this island, that's been around for a while too.
Yeah, another amazing musical we're super excited about. It's a family show. Bring your family out to see it. A show that really should get more attention than it does, but the music is fantastic, and people will have a blast at that.
And Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, that's the TYA this year, and again, we've never done it. I was looking at shows for the TYA season and talking to Tim a little bit about it, and we've never done it. And Tim said, I thought like 5 years ago that we should do a Pooh, and we just haven't done it. And I looked at it, I was like, this is the year. We're gonna do it. So
all of these shows, how do these shows get picked for people who have no idea? I mean, this is a totally different roster than last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So it just depends on sort of what the conversation is. Tim really goes away and thinks about what is it that the theater wants to provide the community? What haven't they seen recently? What might they want to see? What do I think they want to see that maybe they've never heard of before? That's another big part of it. And so he goes away and does a lot of reading, comes back to us. We all talk about it, and he has the final call on those. And man, he does a great job. He's put together a great season.
Goodness, I can't believe the hour flew by that fast. Cory Lawson from the Winnipesaukee Playhouse. Sir, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me. It was a blast.
My gosh.
Really fun.
You've been listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah, we're your daydream believer. That makes me your monkeys-like host, Ray Dudley. Yeah, coming to you from the not-so-overly ostentatious digs of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios, 101.9 FM in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. And we're going to catch you on the next one. Go up to the Winnipesaukee Playhouse this summer.
Yeah.
Get out there.